Alright, I'm going to install the SR Performance one-piece aluminum drive shaft in my 14 Mustang with the V6 today. I posted up a close-up video just a while ago if you want to check that out. I'm going to get this thing up on blocks and get her out of there. Alright, so you're going to need to get both the rear tires off the ground, at least some, because you need to be able to spin this, put the car in neutral, so you can get these bolts. There's 4 on each end, so you need to be able to turn it so you can get to them. Let's see if I can figure out what size socket that is. And you're obviously going to need one that has that pattern. I mean, maybe a 12 point will work. We'll find out here in a sec. Alright, so those are just 12 point, 12 millimeter. And you want to spray them down with some PB Blaster or any kind of penetrating oil. Personally, I use PB. Let them soak for 10 minutes or so. Just turn it by hand once it's in neutral, or you can spin the tire. I'll just grab it by hand and turn it. And spray all those bolts, 4 in the front and 4 in the back. That way they can loosen up before you try to break them free. You don't want to round those off. I've seen posts that said that you got to drop the exhaust system to pull the drive shaft out, but if you get the rear end high enough, you should just be able to slip it out under the differential. I got all my bolts out, front and rear. Let me tell you, those little bastards were pretty tight. My impact gun wouldn't even take them out, and it's rated to like 350 foot-pounds of torque. I had to crank them out with a half-inch drive socket and a half-inch drive ratchet. The higher you can get it, the better, so you can get more torque on that ratchet. But they're not impossible, but they're tighter than I expected. You also want to be careful if you do end up taking a metal hammer to this. You don't want to ding this up because this thing spins too. So if you ding that up and throw it out of balance, it's going to give you a vibration. I'll tell you what, even better than beating on it, just find a place to stick a screwdriver in there and pry back on it. It's a little more difficult because this is in the way. Pry bar, you gotta use the right tool for the right job. This, that is neat. Yeah, see, usually they have a yoke that goes into the transmission. This thing's different, and you got, oh, if this damn thing would focus, I swear to God. You got that instead, which is why you got these weird little bracket things on here. Alright, let me crawl out of here. Alright, here's your old piece of crap 2-piece drive shaft. So as I said, comes right out. I just slipped it under the differential there. I don't have the car that high. I got it on some blocks. But if you can't get it out, you just bring the car up a little higher. But it does come out right under the diff. So now I'm just going to slide the new one in and get it bolted down and get the torque specs here in a second. So it's a bit of a puzzle piece to get it in here, but it does slide in. You have to manipulate these a little, bend and pivot them to get it to clear this. And I'm probably going to have to do the same up front. But it's in there. And your rubber boot end, I put it in backwards the first time and realized bolt holes didn't line up, so this little rubber booty end actually goes on the rear. Alright, so you're going to want to start the front first. I got a bolt in the bottom and a bolt in the top because that shaft that comes out there goes down into a hole in this yoke end here, or whatever you want to call it. So make sure you're flush here and then feel on top, and make sure you're flush too, pushed all the way against that with that shaft inside the hole, and then get these bolts started. And I just got 2 in there right now, lightly tightened down so that this is flush, because at first it didn't want to go on because I was hitting the rim of that. So you got to get it lined up so it'll go completely flush right here. So I got 2 started in there. I'm going to start some in the rear, finish installing them all, and then we'll get to the torque spec here. Alright, I'm on the back side here. You're going to want to leave this in neutral and spin it, line it up with the holes you already used, because these other ones are going to be all rusty and nasty. So line it up with your existing holes, and there's a gap right now. Okay, so you can fit it in there. And that's what this is for. It actually extends and retracts. Let's see if I can capture that. It's kind of hard to pull because it's new. But it expanded. See how it's closer? So you can push this piece in and out to get the length you need. And then of course, we'll see, you got this bolt up here that's going to fit into this channel. I notice that's an oval shape. You might have to turn it one way or the other, but I don't think you have to, because I think that bolt's just, it should be round. Push that back in there and see here. Oh shit. Yeah. So you got to get this over that first, and then pull it out to slide it over, and then put your bolts in the existing holes that you used, and then of course you can use those to pull it the rest of the way out and tighten it down. Okay, so the torque spec for these bolts, and of course you're going to have to, you know, put it in neutral and park and turn it and lock it, or if you got a stick, you know, pull the e-brake or whatever real hard, or even have somebody stand on the brake. You might have to start the car depending on how strong their leg is. But it's 76 foot-pounds of torque, front and rear. They're the same bolts on the front as in the rear. 76 foot-pounds of torque, and it's not a bad idea to put some blue Loctite on those either. Well, that's how you do the drive shaft. Pretty simple, really. If this video helped you out, please leave me a thumbs up. Got plenty of other videos on this car. I got a Mustang playlist if you want to see everything that's posted so far. Cold air intake. Oh, what else did I do? Plugs. Obviously the drive shaft. I still got the water pump pulley to put on. I'm still doing something with the exhaust. 373 gears. And next year, hopefully I'm supercharging it. So if you want to follow the build, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, click all, and you'll receive notifications when I post the videos. But again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.